in response to many of your questions and the agitation for us to get you the answers to what you are seeking for. In regards to your immigration to Canada, we as a corporate citizen are back again to bring you the facts and figures, the do's and don'ts about immigration to Canada. This is Platform Media International. My name is Joe Ehizode. In regards to the immigration to Canada today, all the facts that you need to know, it's not, like I keep repeating, it's not a crime to come to Canada. It's for you to pass through the due process to immigrate to Canada. I have an expert in the studio, Barrister Mattis Ngalem, who is a member of the British Columbia Law Society and also a member of the Cameroon Bar Association. Mattis, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joe. Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Your learned friend.
Yeah, you're my learned friend tonight.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Yes, I'm not a learned friend. I'm just a journalist. That's what lawyers use among themselves. I'm not a lawyer. Well, Martins, welcome to the program again. Today, let's start from the question that people really want to answer. What is spousal or skills program in immigration to Canada?
Thank you for your question, Joe. The question apparently is two-pronged. You have the spousal program and the workers program.
Yes.
The spousal issue comes on the family class.
Great.
And then the workers program is under the economic class as well as the skilled worker
Program.
Yeah, but for the spousal program, it is worth noting that as a permanent resident or a citizen of Canada, you may sponsor your family members to Canada under the family class immigration.
So when you say family members, that includes your spouse, whether a woman or a man?
A man.
Does that include the parents?
Your parents, you can sponsor your parents, then your common law partner. And your conjugal partner.
Okay, yeah. Conjugal partner. It could be man or woman.
Yeah.
But let's be politically correct.
Same
sex
yeah.
is allowed.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that include? Does that also include like sponsoring somebody outside your nuclear family, like a cousin or a niece?
That is tricky. They say you could follow your family members.
Yes.
There is a nuclear family, there is an extended family. But the law as perceived in Canada
is for the
nuclear family.
Okay.
And again, if I may hasten to add, the spouse is not defined under the Act.
Okay.
The Immigration Act or the regulation. But to be a spouse, you must be validly married according to the laws of where the marriage took place, and that marriage must be recognized too in Canada by the laws of Canada.
So when you say common law partner, how do we define what does that come under? Common law partner. So you are just on one hand you are telling me the laws of where you get married must recognize that marriage and must recognize in Canada.
Yeah.
Now for common law, that's not legal marriage just because you have some relationship going on.
Yeah, but in the eyes of the law, when you live as husband, in the eyes of the rest of the world as husband and wife, thus you're cohabiting.
Yeah.
Under the laws in Canada, if you live for more than 2 years, it is tantamount to you're regarded as
a union. Great.
Yeah.
Well, so in the Canada Marriage Act, that is also recognized.
Yeah, if you live continuously.
Yes.
For 2 years, it should not be broken.
Should not be broken.
Yeah.
Okay. I also understand that according to the Immigration Act, if your spouse sponsors you to Canada, and the marriage breaks down within 2 years, that sponsorship is broken. Am I correct about that?
The sponsorship, the problem is that it should not be a sham marriage. Because that indicates as if it was just for immigration purposes.
Great.
And the actual Canadian law frowns
at that.
to that attitude. Yeah, it could be an offense.
Okay, let's go to the other one that people keep asking me. If you have a PRO status, you're coming from outside Canada, you have a PRO status, that's permanent resident status. Could you bring? Are you able to bring the whole of your family? For instance, a PRO status guy coming from Africa, is he allowed to bring all his family? If a family of 6 is allowed to bring him, it's qualified.
Yeah, I just want to take you back again. You asked the former question concerned the skilled worker too.
Yeah.
And this skilled worker actually is a person in the eyes of Canada who could contribute economically to the Canadian economy. So when you apply as a skill, it could come under the federal government, as well as the provincial nominee program. But you have to be qualified. They will actually take you in according to your experience, your age, and academics. So all those ones put together and your skill.
I remember you telling me one time that the academics must be in the field where we don't have enough Canadians in that field. Is that correct?
Yeah, because the Canadians are here because they require you actually to, their employer has to prove that there's no Canadian who can do the work for whom they're bringing somebody from outside.
Right.
Yeah, because otherwise it doesn't all go well with them.
Okay. The other one that viewers want to know, if you can bring a child that you get out of wedlock to Canada, can you do that?
But I think the question earlier on, you asked me whether a Canadian with a PR could bring his family.
Yes.
But it follows from the first question that as a permanent resident or a Canadian, you may sponsor your family.
Okay.
But
I'm trying to respond to what viewers are asking me.
Yeah.
Some people are married. They have a child outside their marriage. So if they get a PR status or they are immigrating to Canada, does the law of Canada recognize that child is born out of wedlock?
No, that child is
part of the family.
The law recognizes it. It is under the dependent child.
Great.
And as a dependent child, there must be some relationship, which is biological.
Yeah.
Or either by adoption.
Right.
Or there are situations of dependency. Like this child is less than 19 years old, or it is 19 years old or older, but cannot help himself, but because of physical disability or mental disability, then you could sponsor those people. They are considered dependent children. So you could bring your child to out of wedlock. You have to prove there's some nexus, some connection between you, who is affinity in consanguinity and affinity.
Affinity in
consanguinity. That's blood relations.
Blood relations.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lawyer's term, right?
This is English.
Okay, let's go to another one. Can they sponsor a lover when their marriage in church or marriage has not been consummated?
That's a good one.
You are asking me? Because those are the questions that viewers are asking.
I understand.
Because it's tricky.
Yeah, how do you know when it is consummated?
Yeah. I don't know. That's the question they asked me. So I'm asking you.
Okay, but let me not dive into when people consume marriages. But if you are married, if you are a lover, that's what I actually brought this. It will come under family class, but under the conjugal partner. Conjugal partner is a person you must reside out of Canada, and you must have conjugal relationship with this person for at least 2 years. 1 year.
Oh, 1 year.
Yeah, not 2 years.
Not 2 years.
1 year.
Oh, that's easy. Well,
but it should be noted at this point. It is germane to know that they ordinarily will not come in like spouses or common law partners, but you could actually you could sponsor them for PR, but under the outside Canada class process.
Oh, great! That's very good. And the other one that viewers want to know, Barrister Martin, is also let's look at this one. Very tricky. because viewers are listening to you, Barrister. So it's a very tricky one. The final one that they asked me here is, let me get it. Is the test of English a necessity for under the skilled workers program? Why they are asking this is that most of our viewers are from the Commonwealth countries. They speak English. Now they're asking whether they have to possess the TOEFL, that's test of English language, because English is one of the common or lingua franca, or language of communication. Yeah. They are saying, is it not a repetition, so to say, okay, come and have a test of English, because right from the time they are born, they spoke English, and now they are saying, come on, is it a necessity?
Yeah, it is. It is a necessity because we speak. It is not our. It's not a mother tongue. We speak English, but the longer it is a necessity because when you're coming to Canada, you will actually be tested against the two, whether you are proficient in the two official languages of Canada, English or French. But if you are proficient in these two languages both,
it's a bonus.
It's a bonus, but you can choose one with which you feel too comfortable, then you indicate that that is your first official language.
Okay.
But you have to prove this with results from a language, official results of a language test.
Okay.
Which
is conducted
in Canada.
In Canada.
Yeah, and there's a benchmark. The benchmark for this is 20 points.
20 points.
Yeah. But remember that if I may just digress, we speak English. You could hear a plethora of people argue countless times that I wrote English, I'm from a Commonwealth country, but we think in our languages before we speak. And the people who are trained in this language, they don't actually think in our languages before, in their languages before they speak. They speak in English because they don't know any other language. Before. And and we express ourselves more in passive terms.
Okay.
Because most of they speak in active voice.
Yes.
And the passive voice, it draws the whole thing back.
Okay.
And it doesn't. That is why I think they insist that to be qualified.
So, Barrister, the test of English is only under the skilled workers program. It's not for permanent residency, or if you are coming as a permanent resident, maybe sponsorship. No.
Those ones, they have their own conditions.
No,
they are different.
No test of English.
No, knowing English is an English country.
Yeah.
Knowing English, if you are coming here, you will not be a liability to government.
Yeah.
So knowing English, a working language, either English or French, official language, is an added advantage. And because at the end of the day, if you cannot communicate in English, and you're an active young person, the government will look at it as very soon you will just be taking, you'll be a liability to the government.
Well, that's very, very comprehensive. I guess viewers who have been asking these questions kind of have a good feeling you explaining to that. For your information, if you want to get across to Barrister Martins Ngalin, contact PMI International. We will make that direction to Barrister Ngalin, because he understands your quest, he understands your situation, and he will be able to apply to helping you to get immigrated to Canada. The final question is that most people, perhaps you have been doing this for a while, how long will this process take on average? I'm sure it depends on different countries, right? But let's talk about like Africans.
I think that you'll be very wary about assurances even to your clients, because you don't control Immigration Canada. But the long and short of it is that if your applications are proper, viable, believable, and the documents, and you pay the right fees, your medicals are good, then I don't think it will be an average time of. It will be a reasonable time, so to speak. Yeah.
Barrister, you're speaking like a lawyer now. But lawyers don't waste words. They want to be as precise as possible, right? You don't want to tie yourself to any time. But Barrister is saying if you have the right papers and right documentations, things can come up pretty smoothly.
No,
but it's not ready to tie up your time.
That is true. That is true.
I want to thank you for coming to the program. Viewers, is very popular, popular by popular demand. I'll keep bringing you to the studio. Viewers want to know what are the conditions and what are the hurdles they need to cross before they make up their mind on how to come to Canada. Canada is the best place in the world. Barrister, you will do a good job, and I want to thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yes, that is Barrister Martin Ngalem, a barrister and solicitor in British Columbia Law Society, and also he has practiced law in Cameroon before immigrating to Canada, and he's doing equally well here. And he's very vast in immigration, Canada law, and law practice. So that's it. Keep sending the questions to PMI. And I want to tell viewers and marketers who are interested in our program, this is a very popular edition that we are producing. If you are interested in sponsorship, interested in selling your products, reach out to the marketing manager of PMI. The numbers will be on your screen. Reach out to us and we help you get your products to people who need them. I'm yours sincerely, Joe Ehizode. And very importantly, click on the subscription tab because we need that. That gives us a lot of mileage. Have a good night.